Welcome to the Sacramento County podcast series, County Conversations. I'm your host, Kim Nava. Today, I'm here with John Lundgren, the county sustainability manager. John, thanks so much for coming in today to speak about county efforts. First, can you provide some examples of community-wide sustainability measures that Sacramento County has implemented, and how have they positively impacted the community?
Sure, Kim. One community-wide action was the Department of Transportation's completion of an updated active transportation plan in 2022. And this plan seeks to provide greater opportunities for active modes of transportation like walking, biking, or rolling, as opposed to driving a car. The active transportation plan included a safe routes to school component, which eventually supported a successful grant application to fund bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure serving 6 schools in the unincorporated county. Another community-wide measure is the county's switch to 3-stream recycling, organics, and waste service. By increasing our recycling and adding separate organics collection, the county has reduced the amount of material that ends up in our landfill. With our organics recovery program alone, we not only have prevented 125,000 tons of material from entering the landfill in 2023, but we prevented the generation of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. An additional benefit to the community is that Sacramento County's diverted organic material is kept in the region, where it is processed by one of 3 companies creating nutrient-rich organic compost. This not only supports local green jobs, but results in a beneficial end product in the form of compost, which can be used locally again to support agriculture and community gardening. Perhaps the biggest direct benefit to Sacramento County residents is free compost.
Love that. We love the free.
Last year, the county piloted giving away compost during the growing season. And this year, starting April 15th, that program is expanding to include self-serve locations at 3843 Branch Center Road and at Gibson Ranch Regional Park in Alberta. More information is available at sacgreenteam.com.
Wow, love to hear about those positive impacts for the community of whom we serve. So, John, in terms of county operations, what initiatives or changes have been made to promote sustainability and reduce environmental impact?
Well, Kim, the county has taken numerous actions within its own operations to promote sustainability and to reduce our environmental impacts. For example, our fleet of waste, organics, and recycling collection vehicles is fueled with renewable compressed natural gas. Additionally, the county purchases renewable diesel, and this has been created from non-fossil fuel sources, thus reducing our carbon footprint. The county also partners with the Sacramento Municipal Utility District, or SMUD, to move our buildings and fleets away from non-sustainable fossil fuels towards electrification, and more specifically, towards electricity generated from renewable sources. For example, the county purchases 30,000 gigawatt hours of zero-emission solar shares electricity from SMUD, and this represents about 26% of our total annual usage. Additionally, our Sacramento County Airport system has installed a 7.9 megawatt solar facility at Sac International Airport that provides power directly to that facility. In another partnership with SMUD, the utility has worked with the county to prepare an advisory report that outlines the best places at the county's Branch Center complex to install additional electric vehicle chargers and which electrical vehicles are appropriate for our fleet use. The county has also prepared an updated environmental purchasing policy that encourages and supports the purchase of environmentally sustainable products and materials. In doing this, the county is using its buying power to help shift markets to supply ever-increasing sustainable products at competitive prices. This benefits our citizens with a cleaner environment and lower prices in the long run.
Oh, love that. And I love that you mentioned our regional partner in SMUD. That's so important. And they are very important. It's glad to have them on the team. So climate adaptation is becoming increasingly important. Could you discuss some specific measures Sacramento County has taken to adapt to climate change and its effects?
Sure. One way Sacramento County is adapting to the changing climate is by updating codes and standards. For example, when new development occurs, we must plan for the amount of water needed and runoff that will occur from the site. We are updating water need projections for major projects to deal with a more uncertain and variable water supply. And we're also updating the modeling requirements for predicting water runoff and for the sizing of drainage and detention infrastructure to address wetter and more unpredictable storm patterns that can potentially overwhelm storm drain and flood control facilities. We've also updated our evacuation planning maps and routes, and we've launched a multimedia, multilingual outreach program to increase awareness. The county has updated its evacuation planning maps and routes and has launched a multimedia, multilingual outreach program to increase awareness. We are also hardening infrastructure. For example, making sure that signal light cabinets for our street lights and our signal lights are rated for increased temperatures. In response to the increasing threat of flood and wildfire, the county has adopted an agricultural pass program where identified, vetted, and trained agricultural operators may enter an evacuation zone to care for livestock and crops in order to minimize the economic impact of an acute or prolonged disaster. We've also increased support for adaptation to weather-related impacts by opening weather respite centers during cold and rainy weather and through the coordination of cooling centers during heat and the operation of cleaner air centers during times of pollution from wildfire smoke. We coordinate closely with the National Weather Service on messaging, whether it be for heat, cold, storm, smoke, or flood events. Our Office of Emergency Services works directly with the National Weather Service in coordinating emergency response efforts, and we participate as ambassadors for the Weather Service's Weather Ready Nation program in order to assist us all in preparing for and adapting to changes in the weather.
Impressive. Well, in that vein, John, what challenges has Sacramento County encountered in its efforts to become more environmentally friendly, and how have those challenges been addressed?
One challenge we've encountered is balancing the need to be environmentally friendly and responsive to climate change with many of the other needs the county addresses, such as housing, road maintenance, economic development, law enforcement. And so the county took a bold step in addressing this challenge in 2020, and we declared a climate emergency, and staff was directed by the board to work towards a plan for achieving carbon neutrality by 2030. This led to the creation of the Sustainability Manager position and my office, where we now provide executive-level coordination across all county departments. We educate county officials and staff to examine the long-term savings and avoided costs when considering the short-term costs and trade-offs associated with funding green initiatives. We must all realize, Kim, that when it comes to green initiatives and climate adaptation, an ounce of prevention is certainly worth a pound of cure. This is true in dollars and cents as well.
Boy, you said it. Well, John, for the average person listening right now who wants to support a green environment, what actionable steps or behaviors would you recommend?
Kim, the average person can support a green environment by examining their own personal actions and reducing their consumption. When we do consume products and services, we can further support a green environment by choosing lower waste and reusable products. Then, at the end of product life, we can complete the circle by making sure to properly sort our waste, organics, and recyclables. Another way to support a green environment is to donate used items to secondhand stores and charities, and to consider purchasing secondhand, where excessive packaging and new manufacturing impacts can be avoided. Similarly, before buying a new one-time piece of equipment or a tool, check to see if it is available to check out for free from a local library. A person can also consider driving less and replacing trips driven with walking, biking, or transit. Combining trips and carpooling is another great way, Kim, that we can go green. A big step a person can take is to transition to more electrical appliances and zero or lower emission vehicle types. Kim, this is important because energy for our homes and businesses, combined with the fuel we use for our vehicles, accounts for 82% of all of our county's greenhouse gas emissions.
Wow, that's really important information. And those are great recommendations, John. Thank you for that. So how does the county engage with local businesses and industries to promote sustainability and eco-friendly practices?
Kim, awareness and individual choice, it really plays a big role in assuring our success about being sustainable. Through incentives, education, and careful regulation where appropriate, Sacramento County helps our residents and businesses make sustainable choices. One of the major ways Sacramento County promotes and incentivizes eco-friendly business practices is through our Sustainable Business Program provided by the Business Environmental Resource Center, or BERC. BERC provides confidential assistance to businesses in navigating environmental and permitting requirements and offers a sustainable business program where businesses can apply for and be recognized as a Sacramento County sustainable business. We publish a directory of recognized sustainable businesses and provide advertising, such as window decals, to reward their progress. BERC also coordinates and presents Sacramento County's annual Sustainable Business Awards. These awards highlight businesses which have made exemplary progress towards building an environmentally sustainable future in Sacramento County. The county also engages with our businesses and industries through our Department of Environmental Management, or EMD. EMD provides regulatory oversight in multiple areas, ranging from hazardous materials to landfills to wells and septic systems all the way to food safety, Kim. And EMD prioritizes sustainability. And this helps our businesses be more sustainable. And they do this by offering paperless communication, online and remote educational workshops, as well as online permit processing. Another interface that EMD maintains to businesses and the public in general is through the Sacramento Environmental Commission. The Environmental Commission is a public citizens advisory board that provides a venue for businesses and residents to learn more about important environmental issues and, importantly, to provide their own feedback and input regarding these environmental issues that are important to them.
Very good. Are there any innovative or unique projects related to sustainability that the county is currently working on or maybe planning to implement in the future?
Yes. Kim, I'd really like to highlight Sacramento County's work on our carbon farming program. Carbon farming is also known as regenerative agriculture, and it's a broad set of agricultural practices that result in increased storage of atmospheric carbon in the soil. Carbon farming is Sacramento County's best opportunity to reduce greenhouse gas carbon dioxide that is already in the atmosphere. So examples of carbon farming practices might be returning crop residues to the soil instead of burning them or removing them, maybe reducing the number of passes that a tractor makes over a field, or how often we disturb the soil through plowing. We can also plant cover crops during the off-season instead of leaving croplands bare. And replacing single crop types with a higher diversity of crop rotations and integrating that across all the farming practices can be very beneficial. We can also reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and use what's called integrated nutrient management and precision farming. And really, that's just making sure the right amount of fertilizer goes in the right place, right where the plant is growing. Computers and GPS and all that technology helps farmers achieve that much more precise application, and that makes sense for them too, because less fertilizer means less dollars spent for them. Another way we can practice regenerative agriculture is shifting from flood irrigation to drip irrigation, furrow irrigation, or even subsurface irrigation. Many people don't know when they drive around and they see the tomato fields. Many of those tomato fields are irrigated by subsurface drip irrigation that you don't see. There are even more examples, but the important thing to remember is that many of these practices can be used in combination with one another. And when we combine them, the benefits are increased even more, both to the landowner and to us, the public in general. Sacramento County has been working with a regional partnership of nearby counties, our air district, and resource conservation districts to deliver a carbon farming program to the region where our farmers and ranchers can receive technical assistance and financial incentives to voluntarily incorporate regenerative agriculture into their business model. We are currently pursuing, Kim, a multi-million-dollar grant with the US EPA, and we hope to use this to fund this ambitious program.
Wow. Well, education and awareness play a significant role in sustainability efforts, and that's actually what we're doing with this podcast today. But can you tell us, John, how does Sacramento County educate and involve its residents in green initiatives?
Yes, Kim, that's such a great question. This podcast is a part of a multi-pronged approach that we use to educate and involving our citizens. It ranges from social media and the web to citizen advisory committees and outreach events at festivals and other gatherings. For example, meetings of the Climate Emergency Mobilization Task Force are one venue where citizens can learn more about what the county is doing to achieve carbon neutrality. Citizens may attend these meetings in person, remotely in real time on the web, Or they can watch the recording of the meetings that's hosted on the Clerk of the Board's website. The Climate Task Force meets every month on the second Thursday. We meet in the board chambers at 708th Street at 6 p.m. The county also hosts an informative webpage at green.saccounty.gov where people can visit to learn more about important climate and sustainability issues and receive information on important resources and news. The county also partners with area nonprofits and community groups to help educate and involve people in our sustainability efforts. For example, the county is a proud sponsor of the Environmental Council of Sacramento's annual Earth Day celebration. This year, the event happens Sunday, April 21st at Southside Park in Sacramento, and multiple county departments will be in attendance to highlight county efforts and initiatives. Confirmed county participants are the Environmental Management Department, the Business Environmental Resource Center, our Department of Waste Management and Recycling, Department of Water Resources Stormwater Program, and yours truly, the County Sustainability Manager. We will be there to discuss our programs and initiatives with the attendees and to receive their feedback and ideas as they visit over 100 booths and vendors exploring this year's theme, Build Green.
I love it. I'm marking my calendar right now, John, for that. So finally, with the rise of technology and data analytics, how is the county utilizing these tools to share its sustainability efforts?
Well, Kim, one example of technology that the county uses is advanced telematics and fleet management software. This is where we monitor the driving performance, mileage, and operational efficiency of the county's fleet of vehicles. This system helps us assure that our fleet is right-sized, properly maintained to reduce pollution, and provides the routing and mileage information to inform our transition to electric and other low or no emission vehicles. Additionally, as I previously mentioned, the county has a robust web presence where we report to and communicate with our stakeholders. Regarding our sustainability efforts, the website, green.saccounty.gov, it's the homepage. On the site, we present news and events, resources, information on the Climate Task Force, and a section on going green. The county's most updated greenhouse gas inventory is available there as well. Now, Kim, here's the big deal, though.
I'm listening.
On the green.saccounty.gov website, we most recently went live with the Sacramento County Sustainability Dashboard. The Sustainability Dashboard is a web-hosted, one-stop shop where people can see the latest information on how the county is doing in implementing over 90 greenhouse gas and climate adaptation measures that we developed as part of the Draft Climate Action Plan. To my knowledge, this is the first dashboard in the region to publicly detail such local government actions.
Well, I have been to that dashboard, and just let me say, as a non-subject matter expert, not like you, it was really easy to understand, and it was really easy to use. And so I appreciate that dashboard. And you can find that on the county's homepage too at www.saccounty.gov. So, John, thank you again for coming in and sharing your work and the work of the county. There's so much information you've provided, and we really appreciate you coming in today. And to our audience, thanks so much for joining us. And we hope you'll listen again as we feature different county department leaders throughout our series.